I mean, I almost joked with him, you've actually made it pleasurable to spend this money.
You don't hear that too often, do you?
I know, it was fun. My name's Saska. I own a property sort of Kilburn, Queen's Park borders, and I've been renting it through Paramount for the past 4 or 5 years. So they've managed the property, completely taken it off my hands, which has been great.
I believe there was a kind of a time period there where you were thinking possibly selling would have been kind of the right option for you. Can you just talk through briefly kind of what you were thinking in terms of, selling being the best option, and then what ultimately led to the decision of keeping the property and letting it out?
Sure. I think like everyone else in lockdown, I went through a few sort of big life decisions and thinking about ways to live a bit differently. And I considered selling Charteris and buying a little place down by the sea in Hastings that I would use rather than renting it out. But actually, the market wasn't great for sales because it's a one bed in London without outdoor space. So I didn't get a great offer on it, and so made the decision to hang on to it and give it a bit of love and attention. It was a lot more than I thought would need doing, actually, but it was a sort of really thorough look at all the redecorating, all the details that needed changing, whether that was light switches or carpets or moving radiators or changing the type of radiators. So it was, it was amazing, actually, the attention to detail that was given to it.
So going into the process, was there anything that you encountered that you hadn't really expected, and that, or maybe something that you would kind of look back at now and go, oh, I wish I knew that before going into it, or maybe something that you would have done a little bit differently?
No, I just really enjoyed the expertise from Paramount and being able to trust that you guys knew exactly what needed doing. I mean, things that I would never have thought of. I probably would have repainted it, and that was that. So it was so much more intensive than that, and it was just a joy, actually, to see the sort of dedication and care that was given to it. I felt in very, very safe hands.
How did you find the communication during the process? So did you get the regular sort of video updates from Spencer?
Yeah, video updates from Spencer. I was always getting kind of little WhatsApp notes from him.
Hey Saska and everyone, because I'm going to share this. Okay, so the gripper here and this underlay is in pretty good order.
It was great. I felt completely informed on all of it, and actually, sort of as importantly, his budget estimate was pretty much spot on. So I didn't get a nasty shock at the end. I saw it as it was happening along the way. I mean, I almost joked with him, you've actually made it pleasurable to spend this money.
You don't hear that too often, do you?
I know, it was fun.
So what's your favorite part about the property now?
I think now it's got its dignity back. I think, when I lived in it for 10 years and I loved it, but it had 4 years of a tenant and it just wasn't looking as loved as it was before. And I think now it's shiny and gleaming, and the new flat radiators, I never thought I'd get excited about a radiator, but the sort of new flat radiators in the right place where they're meant to be under the windows, it looked beautiful. It just looks gleaming again, and I'm really excited that someone is living there again and that they'll get to enjoy it.
It looks great, and I believe it was on the market for 1 day before it left, once the refurb was done.
Yeah, I mean, that is credit to Spencer's work. I think it was within that day the offer had been made. And what makes me happy is I think it's a woman on her own living there, so I feel a little bit like I've passed the baton. I lived there on my own for nearly 10 years, and now I hope she gets to enjoy it as much as I did.
Was there, kind of as the last question, is there anything that sort of stood out about the process to you? So something, if you've done sort of refurb works before with maybe other contractors, what was really different to you?
I think Spencer's attention to detail, the level of detail that he put into it. There was one WhatsApp message about the light switches, and some of them had round edges and some of them had squared off edges, and he wasn't happy with that. And, was it okay? And, just that I would never have done. And you want someone who cares that much. You want someone who really is going to look at that level of detail, because I'm too lazy. I wouldn't have done that. So I was really, really grateful that he did.
Yeah, Spencer is all about the details. He will agonize about every little detail until it's perfect.
Which is great, because I just won't. I probably would have gone, great, that's it, done, painted it. There's no way I would have gone into the detail that he did. So it was, he was so impressive. It was great.
Good morning, it's Adam here from Paramount Properties, and I'm on Charteris Road today to show you around this amazing top floor 1-bedroom. It's just been newly painted, brand new carpets, brand new radiators. It's looking fantastic, so let me take you round. Could this be your next home? So as I mentioned, brand new carpets, lovely grey carpets here. All the walls, woodwork and ceilings are being painted in white. And you've got those brand new flat panel radiators throughout as well. One of the real big advantages of this flat is this lovely landing space, which the owner's actually just put in a couple of double sockets here because it's a perfect little working from home space.
I would definitely do it again. I would recommend anyone, giving the responsibility over to you guys to do it. It's completely collaborative, but I didn't feel any of the stress that I think you would normally feel if you were doing it yourself.
Yeah, and I think that's a big thing that we hear from a lot of our owners. It's just the difference of in the times when they've tried to kind of project manage on their own and being able to just hand it off and trust that somebody cares about it at the level that you care about your own property. I think it just makes a big difference. So it's really good to hear from people who have gone through the process that's been your experience for sure.
No, it really has.